When people try to provoke you, see it as training. When life blocks your path, treat it as a chance to grow stronger. Every insult, every setback, every betrayal becomes fuel. The world will look at you and think you're unshakable. But the truth is, you built yourself to be this way, one decision at a time. Seneca once wrote, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave." So let the fire come. Let the challenges rise. You don't run from them, you welcome them. Because each one is another chance to sharpen your mind and harden your spirit. Your enemies will come and go. Your problems will shift and change. But your mind, that's yours to command or to surrender. And if you choose to command it, you will discover something extraordinary. The moment you stop being controlled by the world, you start controlling it. That's the Stoic method. Not the loud victory of crushing someone in battle, but the quiet domination of knowing they never had power over you in the first place. The war is already won, because you are already unbreakable. And when you reach that state, you stop fearing what's ahead. The uncertainty that once kept you awake at night becomes the very thing that excites you. Because you understand, every challenge that comes your way is simply another test, and you've been training for this your entire life. You stop seeing enemies as threats and start seeing them as mirrors, reflecting the parts of yourself you still need to master. If they trigger anger in you, it's a sign you need more patience. If they cause doubt, it's a signal to deepen your self-belief. In this way, every opponent, whether in the boardroom, on the battlefield, or in your personal life, becomes an unwilling teacher. The Stoics were never obsessed with winning in the eyes of the crowd. They didn't need applause, recognition, or validation. Their victory was private, internal. And that's the kind of victory that can never be taken from you. When others see you walking through storms untouched, they won't understand. They'll call you cold, detached, maybe even ruthless. But what they're really seeing is a mind that has chosen mastery over misery. You've built an inner fortress so strong that no words, no actions, and no circumstances can breach it. This is how you crush your problems and your enemies, not by being louder, not by being more aggressive, but by being so steady, so deliberate, so unshakable, that they eventually wear themselves out trying to move you. And when they've exhausted every weapon they have, they'll finally see the truth. They never stood a chance. Because the greatest victory is not when you destroy what stands against you, it's when nothing can stand against you at all. And when you live like this, something remarkable happens. Life stops feeling like a constant fight and starts feeling like a controlled game. You begin to move with precision, not panic. You anticipate problems before they form. You read people before they speak. You see the trap before it's set. And when challenges arrive, they no longer shock you. They simply confirm what you already expected. This is the quiet dominance the Stoics lived by. They didn't need to announce their strength. It was felt. Their presence carried weight because their emotions didn't sway with the wind. Others depended on the world being predictable to feel secure, but the Stoic learned to be secure no matter what the world did. That's why they always had the advantage. Your problems, your enemies, your setbacks, they thrive on your reaction. They want you to fight blind, to lose patience, to waste energy. But when you deny them that, when you stand like the immovable mountain while the storm tears itself apart, they have nothing left to strike. That's when you've truly won. Because here's the truth. Power isn't in controlling others. Real power is in controlling yourself so completely that nothing outside of you can dictate your peace, your purpose, or your path. And once you reach that level, problems shrink, enemies fade, and life bends in your favor. Not because it got easier, but because you got stronger. That is the Stoic way. The art of turning every battle into a lesson, every enemy into a stepping stone, and every obstacle into an invitation to rise higher. And once you master it, you'll realize you don't just survive life's storms. You command them. And when you command the storm, you stop being just another player in the game. You become the one who shapes it. You no longer react to life's moves, you dictate them. Every choice is deliberate. Every word is calculated. Every step is made with the patience of someone who knows exactly where they're going, even if no one else can see the path. Enemies will still try. Problems will still appear. But they'll notice something unsettling about you. You don't flinch. You don't rush. You don't fight every battle. You pick your moment, and when you strike, it's final. There's no wasted effort, no emotional chaos, just clean, decisive action. The Stoics knew that control was the ultimate weapon. Control of mind. Control of tongue. Control of action. Because the man who cannot be provoked cannot be manipulated. And the one who cannot be manipulated cannot be defeated. Your greatest enemy is not the one outside, it's the weakness inside. Every time you resist the urge to act out of fear, every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you endure without complaint, you are sharpening your blade. And the day will come when that blade is needed, and it will cut through anything in your way. This is why the Stoic way is so feared and respected. It produces people who do not break, who do not bend to pressure, and who do not crumble when the world turns against them. And when you become one of them, your enemies won't just fail to destroy you, they'll fear even trying. Because you will have mastered the truth. The one who controls himself controls the outcome. And that is the kind of victory no one can take from you. And once you understand this, the game changes forever. You stop measuring wins by applause, trophies, or public recognition. Your victories become invisible to the world, but priceless to you. The victory of not losing your temper when provoked. The victory of keeping your focus when chaos surrounds you. The victory of walking away from a trap you saw coming miles ahead. Most people chase visible wins, public battles, loud triumphs, dramatic revenge. But the Stoic seeks the silent victories, the ones that strengthen the core. Because when the core is unshakable, no loss can truly harm you, and no victory can intoxicate you. You remain balanced, steady, in control. Your enemies will watch, confused, as their usual tactics fail. They'll expect you to explode, to panic, to crumble under pressure. Instead, you'll meet them with silence, patience, and precision. And that silence will speak louder than any insult or attack ever could. The Stoic way teaches that the greatest conquest is not of lands or wealth or people. It is the conquest of the self. Master yourself, and the world bends to your will, not because you force it, but because nothing it throws at you can move you from your path. And when you reach that level, you no longer fear the fight. You welcome it, not with reckless eagerness, but with the calm certainty of someone who knows. The outcome was decided long before the first move was made. Life will test you. People will challenge you. Circumstances will try to break you. But the question is, will you shatter under pressure, or will you stand unshakable? The ancient Stoics mastered the art of defeating not just their enemies, but every obstacle life threw at them. They didn't rely on luck, they didn't depend on others. They forged a mind so sharp that no problem could cut through it. If you can control your mind, you can control your world. And once you control your world, nothing and no one can truly harm you. The Stoics didn't view enemies the way most people do. They understood that the greatest enemy isn't always out there. It's inside. It's your fear, your ego, your impatience, your uncontrolled emotions. The first step to defeating any external enemy is to win the battle within. When you master your impulses, you instantly take away your opponent's biggest weapon, your reaction. They can insult you, betray you, try to bring you down, but if your mind remains unshaken, they have already lost. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, faced betrayal, political conspiracies, and the constant threat of war. Yet, he ruled with clarity, strength, and composure. How? He practiced seeing challenges as fuel for his growth. To the Stoic, a problem is not a punishment, it's a teacher. Every obstacle is an opportunity to sharpen your character. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they asked, "How can this make me stronger?" When you face an enemy, whether it's a person or a situation, you must not fight them on their terms. A Stoic wins by shifting the battlefield to the mind. While your opponent wastes energy on anger, you conserve yours for precision. While they react, you respond. This is the power that turns challenges into stepping stones and enemies into unintentional teachers. The Stoic method isn't about brute force, it's about strategic endurance. You don't just outfight your problems, you outlast them. Time is the greatest weapon of the patient. A storm can rage for hours, but the mountain remains. Problems, like storms, always pass. The question is, will you still be standing when they do? This is why the Stoics trained their minds daily. They visualized the worst possible scenarios, not to invite fear, but to strip fear of its power. They prepared for loss, betrayal, and hardship so that when it came, it did not crush them. It simply confirmed what they already knew. A man who expects the unexpected cannot be caught off guard. Even when dealing with enemies, the Stoic seeks not petty revenge, but decisive victory through control. Your enemy wants you emotional, distracted, and reckless. Deny them that satisfaction. Show no desperation. Remain calm while they burn their energy. Let them reveal their weaknesses while you strengthen yours. Because in the end, your true power is not measured by how many enemies you crush, but by how many never stood a chance against the fortress of your mind. And once you understand this, you realize your problems were never as powerful as they seemed. They only had power over the mind you hadn't yet mastered. I can keep this going into a deeper, more cinematic continuation where the story pulls the viewer into ancient Stoic battle strategies applied to modern life. That way, it feels like an unbroken, gripping journey until the end. So imagine this. You're standing on a battlefield, not with swords and shields, but with deadlines, betrayals, financial struggles, and the silent weight of uncertainty pressing on your chest. Around you, others are panicking, lashing out, or running away. But you remain still. Calm. Watching. Waiting. Because you understand what they don't. The first one to lose their composure is the first one to lose the war. A Stoic doesn't rush into a fight blinded by emotion. They let the noise pass like waves crashing against a cliff. They observe patterns, study weaknesses, and choose the exact moment to act. This is how you defeat a challenge without exhausting yourself. Precision over chaos, patience over panic. Epictetus, born a slave, understood this better than anyone. He had no control over his chains, over the cruelty of his master, or over the hardships of his life. But he realized something far more powerful. No one could chain his mind. He could be insulted, beaten, stripped of everything, but as long as he owned his thoughts, he owned himself. That's how he defeated his enemies, not by overpowering them, but by refusing to let them control his inner world. You need to see your own life the same way. Your enemy could be a toxic coworker trying to sabotage you. It could be a business rival hoping you fail. It could even be a personal demon: fear, procrastination, self-doubt. The Stoic method teaches you to turn every attack into an advantage. If they underestimate you, use it. If they push you, redirect their force. If they try to break your focus, grow even more disciplined. Because here's the truth. Most problems don't destroy you because they're too big. They destroy you because you waste your energy fighting them emotionally instead of strategically. The Stoics understood that emotions are like smoke. They cloud your vision. But when you let them clear, you can see the target with perfect clarity, and a single, precise strike is all it takes. The modern world rewards those who can stay calm while everyone else loses control. That's why your real power is in restraint, not reaction. If someone attacks your reputation, don't jump into the mud with them. Rise so far above that they can't even reach you. If life corners you, don't thrash around. Find the smallest opening and slip through it. The Stoic way isn't about living without problems. It's about becoming the kind of person problems can't defeat. Once you adopt this mindset, your enemies will exhaust themselves trying to break you, while you conserve your strength and move forward. They'll wonder why their tactics no longer work. They'll begin to fear you, not because you struck them down, but because you stood unshaken. And when that moment comes, you'll understand the essence of Stoic victory. Not the roar of triumph, but the quiet, unshakable certainty that nothing can conquer a mind that rules itself. I can now carry this into an even more intense closing sequence that ties in a high-impact Stoic principle, leaving the viewer with a powerful call to action that lingers in their mind after the video ends. This will boost retention and make it go viral. So here's where it all comes together. You realize the final battle isn't fought against your enemies, your struggles, or the chaos of the world. It's fought within. And every time you choose discipline over impulse, patience over anger, clarity over confusion, you win. Slowly, silently, you become unstoppable. The Stoics knew that the most dangerous warrior is the one who doesn't need to prove he's a warrior. He walks through the world calm, prepared, and ready, not because he's never been tested, but because he's been tested so many times that nothing surprises him anymore. That's the level you must aim for.